go, if you don't mind, go ahead. We'll have you face that way. Okay. So,
It was just
that's the
that
video.
long. For a baby burn, that's in my
Me.
head.
Screen
Yeah.
is a 42.
Got you.
You messed up. Now it's in my head all day.
Okay, so in a throwing course, maybe I'll just show it to tease you so you'll come to another DNS seminar, but we can have a huge influence on the posterior capsule from this position in a throwing athlete. We can also have a huge influence on the posterior capsule of the hip joint here by doing mobilizations. Now, you can stand from the front or back, but what I'm gonna do, partly because of my knee and partly because he's strong, come back my way, I'm gonna use my body. So basically what we're do, I'm gonna barrel roll. So whenever you need the patient to like roll in an ipsilateral pattern, use the term barrel roll or use the term log roll and they will get it. So let's log roll everything forward, okay? Give me good pressure here. Perfect, so I'm just aiding in the support here and now drive me back. Sorry, I got your hand pinched there. Good, and now go back. So now I come back, 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 back. So I'm rolling the pelvis over the femur. Do you have a stretch in the back of your hip? Yeah. Good, baby. Let's go.
Just bend your left arm a
Oh
little bit.
man, how amazing is this? Is it as good for you as it is for me? Really good. Okay.
It's really good.
Okay, come back. So this is also good, like if you want to get rid of a trigger point in the adductor, this is amazing for that. Okay, so another option, well, I've done it different ways, but you could also do it like this. Create stretch, and now come back out of this. And now come back. And come back out. Yeah. And so what could be matched up to this would be go on your belly here. Like if we determine they have a lack of internal rotation, so they have tight external rotator, you just do what I just did, you will have freed that up. Or if there's like a trigger point in piriformis, that will absolutely abolish that trigger point. Go on your back. Or like, sometimes it just saves time. Like if I'm like kind of just checking the muscles around the hip, real quickly I'm gonna check internal rotation. He doesn't have much, he's got a little bit of hip retroversion here. Here, and then, do you have impingement or not?
Sometimes it feels like it, sometimes I can really clear it.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like,
so see how like when I go to flex his hip, we have this situation. So anyways, whether it's a bony block, which it is, or it's a soft tissue block, he's got limitation of hip flexion. If we have great hip flexion, we'll be able to get their thigh to their abdominal wall. And then we check abduction. So we should be able to get the thigh almost parallel to the surface of the ground is how I always think of it. So he's a little short, but you know, it's not drastic. We're gonna see a ton worse in clinical practice. Now, when I see this, what's hanging up this motion? I know the exact trigger point I'm gonna find on him. See how it's so cool how it all, whenever you have a limitation in range of motion, either you have a joint fixation, you have shortened tissue, or you have a trigger point that's hanging on to that. So my point is, you could, I'm not recommending you do this, but you could not do any DNS assessment test. You could only go through the body and let the body guide you on what exercise you need to do. Like I said, I'm not saying to do that, but I'm saying you could. What I typically do, I couple what I find with DNS test with this. And if I'm at the stadium and I have access to all the SMFA information, then of course I'm gonna use it. The more information, the better. But real quickly, I mean, I can go through the whole body. We can show you all the different like checks, but you already know them. You're probably just not doing them or you're not auditing them to see. Because imagine how powerful it is when you get done, you're done. I don't say, hey Jason, stand up, let me know how your hip feels. I know that I changed the pattern here, boom, I'm on to the next one. So, let's review what I just showed, because in a second you're going to see it's way harder than it looks for those of you who tried that. Let's have you lay on this side again. So the hips flex to 90. This is when too, you can tell like when some, like JP's got great strength. Like some of our players in this position here, oh my, it's like they literally just blow me back. Okay, pressure. And now drive me back here for me. And back. And then what I like to do, go back again, is I like to say on the way back, JP, you still resist backwards, but let me win. And then sometimes, like if I want to, tell me when you got a big stretch. Now I hold him here, and now activate out of there, and I'm just going to hold him here. I really, the more I play around with this, the more I think it's easiest to come from behind to block them, because you can use your stomach or you can use your chest. But like I said, you can do it in the front with your forearm and get creative with that also.
Probably the move I use more than any other move.
I know,
Just 'cause
it's
it's so
so
easy to
amazing.
treat, but from your right from the behind, it's easier. You get yourself in trouble doing too many from the front, like reaching over them.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
right,
just
in your own
in
position.
your own position
Yeah,
for a
right.
long period of time.
Yeah.
This is better.
Yeah, because I actually, I started doing this after I hurt my knee, you know, like a
Yeah.
lot, whereas before I was doing it more from the front. Then, so like, to your point, like a lot of people who have spinal problems, they have girdle problems. We need, in treatment across all of musculoskeletal medicine, we need more good treatment of the hip joint and the shoulder joint to improve the function of our spine. So, or I could go, just to show you how I can take the same principle and then plug it in up here. So in my world, I have to deal with the throwing athletes, so we have a lot of tightness in the posterior capsule. Same thing. Now push that into me. Let me land, but still give me some resistance. Let me know when you feel a stretch. Okay, go long here. Elongate. And now come out. It's coming. Okay. All right, so don't do the shoulder. Do it when you come to your next DNS course, but do the hip.